Hey there, my name is Jennifer Otter Bickerdike, and I am the author of this fantastic book, if I do say so myself, Eternal Flame, the authorized biography of the Bangles. And I just really want to talk about why I decided to write this book and why I thought it was so important that the tale and the story of the Bangles was written with them in particular. When I first encountered the Bangles, it definitely was before I was even a tween. So I must have been 8, 9, 10, that area of age. And it's when you're first really starting to get into popular music. My parents had a lot of records and there was always music being played in our house. But I really specifically remember seeing Manic Monday, the video, and it just connected with me. I was at a moment when I was really just trying to figure out who I was outside of my parents. As you kind of start feeling that around age 10, you're kind of breaking into junior high school, middle school. There's a little bit more pressure to be an individual. And seeing the Bangles, they all, first of all, they all were playing their own instruments. That to me was a revelation. I'd never seen a woman play guitar. I'd never seen a woman drum. It was literally like meeting a Martian or walking on Mars. It was that alien to see that. And they all looked so cool, which one thing that really upset me when I was writing the book is how it always came back to how they looked. Look. Oh, they looked great here. Oh, their skirts were too short there. But as a kid, seeing them, they weren't overtly sexy, at least to a child. You see someone like Madonna. Madonna was kind of scary, almost threatening in like her sexuality to someone that hadn't really come into that themselves. The Bangles, on the other hand, were aspirational. They looked like the kind of adult that you wanted to be. They seemed like the absolute coolest gang of women, and they made getting older not seem so scary. It actually was the contrast. They made getting older and the possibility of being anything like them seem so appealing and exciting. And with that in mind, when I finished my last book, which was on Britney Spears, I thought, what would be my dream? Who would I love more than anyone to work with and write about? And of course, the Bangles immediately sprung to my mind as that band, as that group of women that had really shown me as a young person what could be. You weren't held back by the fact that you were a girl. And the way the book came about actually is I emailed their website and just said, hi, I've done these other books. I love you guys. I'm a massive fan. I would love to work with you on telling your story. And I waited and nothing happened. I did not give up though. I went onto all my social media platforms and I just started asking around, like, does anybody know anyone who might know someone who could possibly know the hedgehog, uncle, cousin, dog that may know a Bengal? And one of my acquaintances from San Francisco, she actually was going to be working an event that Vicki Peterson was going to be at that very weekend. And she said, if you write a letter explaining who you are and what you want to do, I'll give it to Vicki. And I was like, oh my God, because I'm not so sure I would do that if I was asked to do that. I don't know if I'd offer that because I'm just very conscious about privacy and asking people to do things. But this generous soul, Leanne, she said she would do this for me. So I wrote the letter and the weekend came and went. And Leanne said, oh, I gave it to Vicki and she seemed really receptive. And then I was like a teenager, like refresh, like going again and again and again to see if she'd written me, but she hadn't. And then I kind of forgot about it, like not forgot in a I still didn't love the Bangles because of course I did. I still listen to all their music. When I moved to the UK where I live now, I only had 20 boxes of stuff and all my Bangles stuff came with me. So the Bangles are part of who I am, but I just didn't hold any hope. And one morning, about 2 years after that letter, I woke up on a Saturday and I went downstairs and there was an email from Vicki Peterson in my inbox. I started screaming. I could not believe it. I was just like, oh my God. And Vicki being Vicki and Sue are the biggest researchers, the smartest people I know, and like nothing gets by these two. So it's funny because Vicky is like, I totally researched you and I saw you done this book and that book. And she was calling up like random articles I'd written in graduate school. I'm just like, girl has gone deep into the crates on me. And she's like, do you want to talk? Like, let's connect. My husband thought something bad had happened because I was screaming so much out of pure excitement. So I talked to Vicky and loved her, and I couldn't believe I was actually talking to her. Just it was literally like talking to God. Like I looked up to her for so long, and now she's on the other end of the phone, and I just started rambling dumb things about like, should I get a new vacuum or not? Like, who knows what's wrong with me? But then she's like, okay, let's have you talk to Susanna. And the next day I talked to Sue and like literally shaking. I could not believe I was dialing the phone number of Susanna Hoffs. And I even told Sue, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, what a nerd. Who does that, right? But I ended up getting along like a house on fire with both of them. And then I got to talk to Debbie, who I totally grieved with because we're both the tall girls. If you're a tall girl, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And just instantly loved Debbie. And so that's really how it all came about was, I have to say, me being a fan of the band, me being a writer, but it really was a human connection with them. It was the honor of a lifetime to work with them. And it continues to be such a joy to be friends with them. So I just feel very, very filled of gratitude that they trusted me to tell their story.